The massive crystalline palace of Queen Zaxara glittered under the 3 moons of Nexalon Prime, but its beauty failed to mask the tension that filled the air. The alien diplomats and royal visitors shuffled nervously in the grand reception hall, carefully avoiding eye contact with the towering figure seated on the obsidian throne. Queen Zaxara of the Meridian Empire was impressive even by the standards of her species, standing nearly 8 feet tall with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer with its own inner light. She commanded respect and fear. In equal measure, 4 slender arms adorned with ceremonial bangles rested on her throne, while her large amber eyes surveyed the gathering with thinly veiled disappointment. For the 5th diplomatic season in a row, no one had volunteered to participate in the traditional Night of Understanding, a crucial Meridian custom where a representative from each visiting delegation spent a night conversing with the Queen to foster diplomatic relations. Without this ritual, no treaties could be signed, no alliances formed. Ambassador Lily Harper, newly appointed human representative to the Galactic Confederation, watched the proceedings with curiosity. Unlike the other diplomats, who had been warned about the mysterious fate of previous participants, Lily had arrived late, due to human space transport delays, and had missed the briefing. Her aide, a nervous Praxian named Vix, whispered urgently, "Do not volunteer for anything. Ambassador, the Meridian Queen has unusual customs." But Lily noticed something others missed. Beneath Queen Zaxara's regal demeanor, she detected loneliness, not the threatening predator others feared, but a ruler isolated by her own power and position. The grand reception hall of the palace was filled with representatives from over 30 different species, each adorned in their cultural finery. The Arcturians with their crystalline exoskeletons refracted light across the room, while the gaseous nebulons hovered in their containment fields nearby. Diplomatic tensions ran high as trade routes, military protection and resource sharing all hung in the balance of these negotiations. Lily studied her digital briefing pad, learning that the Meridian Empire controlled access to rare minerals essential for faster-than-light travel. Their strategic position near 3 major wormholes made them gatekeepers of galactic commerce. Yet despite their importance, relations had deteriorated over recent years, coinciding with the growing fear of the Night of Understanding ritual. When the royal attendant called once more for volunteers, the room fell silent as it had each night for the past week. "I will participate in the Night of Understanding," Lily said, her voice clear and steady in the silent hall. The gathered aliens gasped collectively. Vix tugged desperately at Lily's formal diplomatic jacket, hissing, "Ambassador, no." The others who went never returned the same. The Queen's forearms stilled her amber, eyes widening with surprise. "Is the human representative certain of this decision?" "There is no dishonor in declining." Lily stepped forward with a respectful bow. "I am certain, Your Majesty." The Night of Understanding sounds like an excellent opportunity to establish relations between our peoples. A murmur ran through the crowd. The Centaurian ambassador fanned his gill flaps in agitation, while the Volturian delegation clicked their mandibles in what Lily recognized as their expression of shock. The Prime Minister of Arcturus, a respected elder among the gathered diplomats, approached Lily, his crystalline form clicking with each step. "Ambassador Harper, you must reconsider." The last Arcturian who participated returned unable to speak, only capable of drawing endless spiral patterns. He remains in a medical facility to this day. Lily looked at the concerned faces around her. Understanding dawned that this was no simple cultural misunderstanding, but something that genuinely frightened these experienced diplomats. Yet something about Queen Zaxara's reaction, her surprise at Lily's willingness, suggested there was more to the story. Commander Maya Reeves, head of Lily's security detail, stepped forward, her hand resting on her regulation blaster. "Ambassador, I must formally object to this course of action without proper intelligence." Lily placed a calming hand on Maya's arm. "I appreciate your concern, Commander, but sometimes diplomacy requires personal risk." She turned back to the Queen, whose expression had shifted from surprise to careful hope. "How should I prepare for tonight?" "Your Majesty." Queen Zaxara rose from her throne, towering over the gathering. My attendants will provide you with the traditional garments, Ambassador Harper. The night of understanding begins at the rising of the third moon. I shall await you in the chamber of communion." As the Queen departed, the hall erupted in concerned chatter. Lily found herself surrounded by representatives from a dozen worlds, all offering warnings or advice. The Delphian ambassador, a small amphibious being with large expressive eyes, approached Lily. "Human, your species is new to galactic politics. You cannot understand what you risk. The telepathic communion with a Meridian Royal is not like the surface thought-sharing practiced by lesser telepaths. It reaches into the depths of consciousness itself." Vix pulled Lily aside to a quiet corner of the reception hall. "Ambassador, I must tell you what I know. 3 diplomats in the past decade have participated in the Night of Understanding. The Volturian returned catatonic, the Arcturian became obsessed with drawing spiral patterns, and the Zentabi ambassador became so sensitive to sensory input that she now lives in a soundproof, darkened chamber." "What happened to them exactly?" Lily asked. "No one knows for certain," Vix admitted. "The Queen claims it is merely an intense cultural exchange, but the results speak otherwise. Some believe she feeds on the mental energy of other species. Others think she implants controlling thoughts to create sleeper agents, but most simply believe that lesser minds cannot withstand direct contact with a Meridian Royal consciousness." Lily considered this information carefully. Humanity was still proving itself in the galactic community. Their adaptability had impressed many species, but others remained skeptical of the newcomers. This could be an opportunity not just for herself, but for humanity to demonstrate their unique value to the Confederation. That evening, Lily was escorted to a preparation chamber where Meridian attendants presented her with flowing robes of a material that seemed to shift colors with her movements. The garments were surprisingly comfortable, adapted thoughtfully for human physiology, as the third moon rose, casting a purple glow through the crystal windows of the palace. Lily found herself being led through winding corridors deeper into the heart of the alien structure. The air grew warmer, carrying strange, but not unpleasant scents of unknown flora. The whispered warnings of the other diplomats echoed in her mind. Yet alongside her apprehension, Lily felt a sense of purpose. Few humans had gone where she was about to go. Whatever happened tonight would shape the future of human-Meridian relations for generations to come. With a final glance back at the concerned face of Commander Maya, who had insisted on escorting her to the chamber entrance, Lily stepped forward as the massive doors to the chamber of communion slid open, revealing the waiting figure of Queen Zaxara. The chamber of communion was unlike anything Lily had expected. Instead of the imposing throne room or sterile diplomatic hall, she had anticipated the space resembled something between a garden and a living room. Bioluminescent plants cast a soothing, blue glow throughout the circular chamber, while comfortable seating arrangements of various sizes and shapes accommodated different physiologies. Soft ambient music, unlike any human composition, filled the air with gentle harmonics. Queen Zaxara had exchanged her formal regalia for simpler attire, though still unmistakably regal. Her iridescent blue skin seemed to pulse gently with inner light, and her forearms were now adorned with simpler bangles that emitted a faint chime when they moved. "Welcome, Ambassador Harper," the Queen spoke, her voice melodic yet tinged with caution. "Few choose to participate in the Night of Understanding these days. Your courage is noted." Lily offered a respectful bow as she had been instructed. "Thank you for receiving me, Your Majesty. I admit the other diplomats tried to dissuade me with tales of what happened to previous participants." The Queen gestured to a seating arrangement that appeared designed with human comfort in mind. "Please make yourself comfortable. The concerns of the other representatives are not without merit. The connection I seek is intense by the standards of most species." As Lily sat, she noticed strange crystalline objects arranged on a low table between them. They seemed to pulse with their own inner rhythm. "You are either very brave or very foolish human." The Queen spoke, her forehands arranging the crystals in a pattern. "Most species cannot withstand direct telepathic communion for extended periods. It overwhelms their neural pathways. This is why the Night of Understanding has become feared rather than honored as it once was." Lily tilted her head. "Is that what happens?" You share thoughts directly. The queen nodded her head, crest shimmering in the dim light. It is how my people truly communicate. Words are insufficient for diplomatic relations of importance. We must know the truth of one another. So the others who participated, Lily began understanding dawning. Their minds were unprepared for such communion. The queen looked away, a gesture of regret Lily recognized despite the alien physiology. They experienced too much too quickly. Yet without this understanding, my people cannot form true alliances. We cannot trust what is only spoken and not shared. Queen Zaxara rose and moved to a wall where she activated a hidden panel, revealing what appeared to be historical records. In the early days of the Confederation, when my ancestor Queen Nylaria first established diplomatic relations, the Night of Understanding was a celebrated tradition. The crystals you see before you help modulate the connection, allowing for controlled sharing. The queen returned to her seat. My people were once welcomed for our ability to establish trust through direct communion, but as species evolved and politics grew more complex, fear replaced understanding. Now we are isolated despite our power. Perhaps because of it. Lily studied the queen's expression, recognizing the universal language of loneliness that transcended physiological differences. I still volunteer, she said. I just request that you proceed slowly and stop if I signal distress. The queen's eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of astonishment. You would still risk this? Lily smiled. Different doesn't always mean dangerous, Your Majesty. Sometimes it just means we need to find common ground. Humans are adaptable, it's our greatest strength. And if there's one thing we understand, it's loneliness. The queen seemed to consider this. Her head tilted in a gesture reminiscent of human contemplation. The crystals between them pulsed more rapidly. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words, human. What do your people know of telepathic communion? Very little, Lily admitted. We have documented cases of what we call psychic phenomena, but nothing scientifically confirmed. Some humans claim to experience connections with others, but it's not a developed ability in our species. That may be to your advantage, Queen Zaxara said, arranging the crystals in a new configuration. Rigid minds break under pressure. Flexible minds adapt. The crystals will help modulate our connection, allowing us to begin with surface thoughts only. If you feel distress, simply touch the red crystal and the connection will cease. Immediately, Lily nodded her understanding and watched as the queen activated the crystals by touching them in sequence. Their glow intensified, bathing the chamber in a soft pulsing light. We will begin slowly. Queen Zaxara instructed. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Allow your thoughts to settle like sediment in still water. Lily followed the instructions, feeling a strange tingling sensation at the base of her skull. At first, there was nothing but her own consciousness, her awareness of the room and the soft sounds of the queen's breathing. Then slowly, like water seeping through cloth, she felt something else. It began as emotions, not words. A sense of curiosity tinged with hope, caution overlaid with loneliness. Then images flickered through her mind, palace seen through different eyes. The weight of a crown. The silent, respectful fear of attendants who never quite met her gaze. Lily gasped at the clarity of these foreign memories, but maintained her composure. The sensation was disorienting, but not painful. She focused on remaining open, accepting the impressions without resistance. You are doing well. Queen Zaxara spoke, her voice seeming to come from both outside and inside Lily's mind. Most species fight the connection instinctively. Their mental barriers become walls that must be broken, causing the damage we have seen. Lily concentrated on maintaining her calm, remembering her training in meditative techniques. Is it safe for me to share thoughts in return? She asked. Indeed, the queen responded. That is the nature of true communion. It flows both ways. Focus on a simple memory you wish to share. Something meaningful, but not overwhelming. Lily thought of her childhood home. The small garden her mother had tended. The feeling of soil. Between her fingers as she helped plant seedlings, the satisfaction of watching things grow. She felt the Queen's surprise and delight at these simple memories, so different from her own experience raised in the structured environment of royal chambers. You understand nurturing growth patience. These are concepts we share despite our differences. For hours they continued this careful exchange. Like dancers learning each other's rhythms, they moved through memories, emotions, and concepts. The connection gradually deepened but never beyond what Lily could comfortably manage. When she occasionally felt overwhelmed, the Queen immediately recognized her distress and eased the intensity. They shared first experiences, childhood challenges, moments of triumph, and failure. Through the Queen's memories, Lily experienced flying through the crystal forests of Nexalon Prime, swimming in oceans where light itself seemed liquid, and the complex social rituals of Meridian society. In return, Lily shared the diverse cultures of Earth, the taste of favorite foods, the feeling of rain on skin, and the complex emotions of human relationships. As the night progressed, Lily began to understand why previous participants had been overwhelmed. The Meridian consciousness operated on multiple simultaneous levels, processing several thoughts at once where humans tended to think linearly. It was like trying to watch several movies at the same time, each in a different language. Yet the crystals helped modulate this difference, allowing Lily to experience the complexity without being overwhelmed by it. You adapt remarkably well, Queen Zaxara observed as they took a brief rest several hours into the communion. Your mind finds patterns and creates bridges where others would build walls. Lily smiled, feeling a new understanding of the Queen, not as an alien monarch, but as a person with hopes, fears, and responsibilities not unlike her own. I think perhaps this is why humans have integrated relatively quickly into the Confederation. We seek common ground. The Queen nodded. The question remains, Ambassador Harper, what shall we do with this understanding we have built? Lily considered the Queen's memories of isolation, the political pressures, and the genuine desire for meaningful alliance. I believe we have an opportunity, Your Majesty. Humans could serve as intermediaries, helping other species gradually build tolerance for deeper communion, sharing what we've learned. For the first time since their meeting, began Queen Zaxara, smiled, a gesture that transformed her formidable features. Humans as bridges between minds. An intriguing possibility. As the first light of dawn began to filter through the crystal walls, Queen Zaxara reached for the central crystal, gently deactivating the connection. We have completed the night of understanding, Ambassador Harper, and I believe we have both learned much. Lily blinked, feeling the strange sensation of being fully back in her own mind. The experience had been profound, unlike anything in human experience, yet she remained herself intact and changed all at once. Dawn approaches. Queen Zaxara said, rising from her seat. The other diplomats will be waiting anxiously to see what has become of you. Some expect you to emerge, broken as the others did. What shall we show them instead? Lily stood, feeling surprisingly energetic despite the sleepless night. I believe we should show them the beginning of a new era. Your Majesty, one where understanding replaces fear. When dawn broke over Nexalon Prime, the gathered diplomats waited anxiously in the grand reception hall. Commander Maya paced nervously, her hand never straying far from her blaster, while Vix fluttered about consulting ancient texts on Meridian customs. The Arcturian delegation had prepared medical specialists familiar with neurological trauma, while the Volturians debated whether to withdraw from the negotiations entirely based on what might happen to the human ambassador. The massive doors to the inner palace swung open and a hush fell over the assembly. The royal herald announced the arrival of Her Luminous Majesty, Queen Zaxara of the Meridian Empire, and Ambassador Lily Harper of Earth. The gathered representatives gasped collectively, as both the Queen and Lily entered side by side, not with the expected formality, but engaged in animated conversation. Lily appeared not only unharmed but energetic and focused. There was no sign of the mental deterioration that had afflicted previous participants. Queen Zaxara raised all four of her arms for silence. The night of understanding has been completed successfully, she announced, her voice carrying throughout the hall. Ambassador Harper has demonstrated remarkable mental flexibility and genuine diplomatic insight. Lily stepped forward, addressing the stunned gathering. I can confirm that the telepathic communion with Her Majesty was intense, but not harmful. The experience was profound and enlightening. Vix rushed to Lily's side, examining her with concerned eyes. Ambassador, are you truly well? Do you feel any unusual thoughts or compulsions? Lily smiled reassuringly. Perfectly fine. Vix, the night of understanding is exactly that, an exchange of perspectives and experiences, not the invasive procedure many fear. The Arcturian Prime Minister approached cautiously, his crystalline form reflecting the morning light. How is this possible? The others who participated, Queen Zaxara, interjected with unexpected gentleness. The failure was not in our intentions but in our methods. We attempted communion without proper preparation or understanding of neurological differences. The human mind appears uniquely suited to adaptive thinking, maintaining identity while absorbing new perspectives. The revelation sent ripples of murmured conversation throughout the hall. The implications were significant for future diplomatic relations. Ambassador Harper and I have reached several important understandings. Queen Zaxara continued. First, we will establish a permanent human embassy on Nexalon Prime. Second, the Meridian Empire will open 3 previously restricted trade routes to Confederation vessels. And third, we propose a new initiative, the Bridge Program, where human diplomats will help facilitate understanding between Meridians and other species. Commander Maya approached Lily, speaking in a low voice. Ambassador, are you certain you're not under any influence? These concessions seem extremely generous. Lily nodded with confidence. The Queen has genuine reasons for these decisions, Maya. Through our communion, I experienced her perspective directly. These are not concessions, but mutual benefits. The Meridian Empire has been isolated for too long as the diplomatic teams began drafting the formal agreements. Lily found herself surrounded by curious representatives from a dozen worlds, all eager to understand how she had succeeded where others had failed. The key was remaining open, but grounded. Lily explained to the gathering, not fighting the connection, but not surrendering to it either. Humans have always existed at intersections of ideas and cultures. It's our natural state. The Delphian ambassador who had warned Lily most strongly observed her with new respect. For centuries, my people believed telepathic communion across species was dangerous, perhaps impossible, yet you have demonstrated otherwise. This changes our understanding of interspecies relations throughout the day as news spread of the successful Night of Understanding. Representatives who had been reluctant to engage with the Meridian delegation now approached with renewed interest. Trade negotiations that had stalled for years suddenly progressed rapidly. The atmosphere in the palace transformed from tense caution to productive energy. That evening, during a celebration feast, Queen Zaxara officially signed the first human Meridian treaty, establishing what would become one of the strongest alliances in the Confederation. The Queen surprised everyone by adopting a human custom, raising a ceremonial glass in a toast to new understanding. She proclaimed, her amber eyes meeting Lily's across the banquet hall. And to the humans who have shown us that difference need not mean distance. Later, as the celebrations continued, Lily found a moment alone with the Queen in a quiet corner of the palace gardens. The other diplomats still watch me, as though expecting me to transform into something else at any moment, Lily observed with amusement. Queen Zaxara made a sound that Lily now recognized as laughter. It will take time for perceptions to change, but change they will. The seeds have been planted today. Lily nodded, looking out at the strange but beautiful flora of Nexalon Prime. I was thinking about what you showed me during our communion. Your people's history is remarkable. The early days of space exploration, the first contact with other species, the vision your ancestors had for peaceful cooperation. It was not always peaceful, the Queen acknowledged. Many mistakes were made. Many still are. But the vision remains. Lily turned to face the Queen directly. I believe there is an opportunity here, greater than either of us initially realized. Humans are newcomers to the galactic stage, but we bring fresh perspectives. We could help revitalize the original vision of the Confederation. Queen Zaxara studied Lily thoughtfully. Through our communion, I sensed the complexity of your species, your capacity for both great empathy and great destruction. Your adaptability is both your strength and your potential weakness. Lily did not disagree. We contain multitudes, as one of our poets once said, but I believe our better nature prevails when given the chance. 3 days later, as the diplomatic summit concluded, the results exceeded all expectations. 17 new treaties had been signed, resource-sharing agreements had been established, and cultural exchange programs initiated. The Meridian Empire, which had been gradually withdrawing from galactic affairs over recent decades, was now positioned at the center of a revitalized network of alliances. Ambassador Harper, I must confess I had serious doubts about your assignment to this post, Admiral Susan Wright, commander of the Earth Diplomatic Fleet, admitted during their final briefing. Your unconventional approach to diplomacy raised concerns, but the results speak for themselves. Lily smiled, thinking of the profound experiences she had shared with Queen Zaxara. Sometimes the conventional approach isn't the best one, Admiral, especially when dealing with unconventional situations. Before departing Nexalon Prime, Lily had one final private audience with the Queen. I have something for you, Queen Zaxara said, presenting Lily with a small crystalline object, similar to those used during their communion. This is a memory crystal. It contains impressions of our shared experience. It cannot create the full telepathic link without its companions, but it may help you retain the clarity of understanding we achieved. Lily accepted the gift with genuine gratitude. And I have something for you in return, she said, offering a small potted plant with delicate blue flowers. It's called Forget-Me-Not on Earth, a reminder that distance does not erase connection. As Lily boarded the human diplomatic vessel for departure, the gathered representatives of 30 worlds watched with new respect. The human who had spent the night with the alien queen had not only survived intact, but had transformed the diplomatic landscape of the Confederation. What began as a reluctant assignment to a challenging post had become the foundation for a new era in galactic relations. News of the successful communion spread rapidly through subspace communications reaching Earth. Within days, the human diplomatic corps immediately began receiving requests from across the galaxy for human representatives specifically trained in cross-species communication. For Lily, the journey back to Earth gave her time to reflect on the profound shift in her own understanding of the universe. The memories shared with Queen Zaxara had expanded her perspective beyond what she had imagined possible. She understood now that beneath the vast differences in biology, culture, and history lay universal experiences, connection, purpose, meaning, belonging. The human mind was indeed uniquely flexible, able to absorb new perspectives without losing itself. Perhaps this was humanity's greatest contribution to the galactic community, not technological innovation or military might, but the simple, profound ability to build bridges across the chasms of difference. 6 months after the historic First Communion between Lily Harper and Queen Zaxara, the Human Meridian Alliance had flourished beyond all expectations. The bridge program had expanded rapidly, with 20 human diplomats now trained in modified telepathic communion techniques. They served as intermediaries, helping representatives from other species gradually build tolerance for Meridian mental contact. The Galactic Confederation headquarters on neutral Centauri Prime buzzed with activity. As representatives gathered for the quarterly council meeting, Ambassador Lily Harper, now serving as head of the Human Diplomatic Corps, strode confidently through the Grand Hall, greeting delegates from dozens of worlds. Many nodded respectfully. Some even attempted the human custom of handshaking, a gesture that would have been unthinkable a year earlier. Lily Ambassador Kraz of the Volturian Collective called, approaching with his insectoid mandibles clicking in what she now recognized as friendly greeting. The bridge program diplomat assigned to our delegation has achieved remarkable progress. Our representative was able to maintain 5 minutes of direct communion with Queen Zaxara without distress. Lily smiled broadly at the news. This was precisely the outcome she had hoped for. That's wonderful, Ambassador Kraz. With continued practice, your representative may soon achieve full communion. The Volturian bobbed his armored head. Soon we may discuss the northern trade route. Access directly with the Queen, he said, referring to a long-standing point of contention between their peoples. Lily continued toward the council chamber. She was intercepted by her aide, Catherine Winters, whose worried expression immediately caught Lily's attention. "What's happened?" Lily asked. Catherine handed her a secure data tablet. "Emergency communication from Earth Command. Admiral Wright has requested immediate secure conference." Lily felt a chill of concern. Susan Wright was not one for unnecessary alarms. Excusing herself, Lily hurried to a secure communication booth and activated the quantum link. The Admiral's face appeared on screen, her expression grave. Lily were detecting unusual activity in the Meridian home system. The Admiral began without preamble. 3 days ago, our long-range sensors registered energy signatures consistent with a large-scale fleet mobilization. When we requested clarification from Meridian authorities, we received only automated diplomatic responses. Lily frowned. "That doesn't sound like Queen Zaxara. The direct approach is more her style." "Exactly," the Admiral agreed. "Which is why we're concerned. Something may be interfering with normal diplomatic channels. We need you to make direct contact with the Queen and assess the situation." "Understood," Lily said, her mind already sorting through possibilities. "When was the last successful communion between a human diplomat and the Queen?" 5 days ago, according to our records," the Admiral replied. The diplomat reported, "Nothing unusual, but that was before we detected the fleet movements. He'll depart for Nexalon Prime immediately." Lily assured her, "If there's any problem, he'll get to the bottom of it." The journey to the Meridian home system typically took 3 days, via faster than light travel. But Lily was granted use of a rapid response vessel, cutting the time to 18 hours. Even so, the delay left her with ample time to consider the possible explanations for the Meridian behavior. Could the Queen be facing internal challenges, a coup perhaps, or external threats requiring military response? But why the communication blackout, especially with human diplomats who had proven themselves trusted allies? When Lily's ship emerged from FTL at the edge of the Nexalon system, the situation immediately became more concerning. A defensive perimeter of Meridian warships surrounded the home planet, their weapons systems fully powered. Ambassador Harper. "This is Defense Commander Zexel of the Meridian Royal Guard." The communication came through as soon as her ship was detected. "Your vessel is cleared for approach to the Royal Landing Pad. All other traffic has been restricted." Lily acknowledged the message with growing unease. The security presence was unprecedented, even for the notoriously cautious Meridians. As her ship descended through the atmosphere, she observed additional military installations that hadn't been present during her previous visits. At the landing pad, she was met not by the usual diplomatic reception but by a full contingent of Meridian Royal Guards. Their ceremonial armor had been replaced with battle-ready exoskeletons and energy weapons. Commander Maya Reeves, who had insisted on accompanying Lily as security, stepped closer, her hand near her sidearm. "Ambassador, this doesn't feel right. These aren't standard protocols." Lily nodded, keeping her expression neutral for the benefit of the watching guards. "Queen Zaxara would have informed me of any change in security status, especially one this significant." The head of the guard approached Ambassador Harper. "Her Luminous Majesty has requested your immediate presence. No other humans are permitted in the inner palace at this time." Maya immediately objected. "That violates our security protocols. Ambassador Harper doesn't go anywhere without protection." Lily placed a calming hand on Maya's arm. "It's all right, Commander. The Queen and I have a special understanding." She turned to the guard. "I accept Her Majesty's invitation. Please lead the way." As they proceeded through the crystal corridors, Lily noted additional changes. Armed guards at every junction, sealed doors that had previously been open, tension evident in the posture of every meridian they passed. Something was very wrong. The guard led her not to the throne room or the chamber of communion, but to the Queen's private quarters, an area typically off-limits to all but the most trusted royal attendants. The massive doors slid open, revealing Queen Zaxara seated not on a throne, but on a simple meditation platform. "Leave us," the Queen commanded, and the guards withdrew, closing the doors behind them. Lily studied the Queen carefully, noting subtle changes in her appearance. The usual luminescence of her skin seemed dimmed. Her posture, though still regal, showed signs of strain. Your Majesty, I came as soon as I received word of unusual activity in your system, Queen. Zaxara raised her 4 hands in a gesture Lily had come to recognize as one of both greeting and caution. Ambassador Harper Lily. I find myself in an unexpected situation, one that threatens everything we have built. The Queen's voice held none of the warmth Lily had come to expect. What kind of situation? Lily asked carefully. The Queen rose, moving to activate a privacy field that would prevent any surveillance. I believe there is a faction within my own government working against our alliance, specifically against the bridge program and the telepathic communion. It facilitates. Lily felt a chill of apprehension. What evidence have you found? Several of my trusted advisors have been replaced, Queen Zaxara explained. Their behavior remains outwardly normal, but during communion I sensed barriers, artificial constructs within their minds. When I attempted to probe deeper, they broke the connection. That would explain the communication blackout, Lily realized. Do you believe these advisors are acting under external influence? The Queen moved to a secure data terminal. 7 days ago, we detected an unidentified vessel at the edge of our system. It disappeared before we could intercept. Since then, numerous key positions in my government have been filled with individuals exhibiting these mental barriers. Why the military buildup? Lily asked. Protection, the Queen replied simply. Or containment. I cannot be certain which advisors remain loyal. Many of the fleet movements were initiated without my direct authorization under emergency protocols. This was worse than Lily had feared. A potential coup within the notoriously stable Meridian power structure could destabilize the entire sector. I need to establish direct communion with you, Lily said. We need to share information completely if we're to address this threat. The Queen hesitated, a reaction so uncharacteristic that it confirmed Lily's suspicions. I am concerned that whatever affects my advisors could spread through communion. Lily considered this. The modified communion crystals we developed for the bridge program include safeguards specifically designed to prevent such transfer. They create a form of mental airlock, allowing thoughts to be examined before full sharing. Queen Zaxara moved to a hidden compartment, retrieving a set of communion crystals. These are my personal set, untouched by any. But, myself, I believe they remain secure. As they arranged the crystals between them, Lily felt the familiar anticipation mixed with a new tension. This communion would be different, more focused on immediate concerns than cultural exchange. When the connection established, Lily immediately sensed the Queen's distress like storm clouds in an otherwise clear mental sky. Images and impressions flowed between them. Advisors with strange emptiness behind their eyes, fleet commanders executing unusual maneuvers, diplomatic messages altered before transmission. Searching deeper, they explored the Queen's memories of the unidentified ship. Its energy signature unlike any known species, its trajectory suggesting origins in unexplored space beyond the galactic rim. Then something unexpected, a memory fragment. Queen Zaxara herself had not been conscious of. An ancient warning passed down through royal communion from queen to queen. A prediction of outsiders who would come not in conquest, but in corruption. Beings who could inhabit minds, replacing identity while maintaining appearance. As they explored this memory together, Lily felt a sudden sharp intrusion into their shared mental space, like a probe searching, testing the communion for weaknesses. The crystals flared brightly, activating their protective functions, isolating the foreign presence. Break the connection. Lily gasped, recognizing the danger they know were communicating. Commander Zexel and his guards advanced into the royal chamber, weapons trained on Lily Queen. Zaxara moved with unexpected speed. Positioning herself between Lily and the guards, I invoke the royal prerogative, she declared, her voice resonating with authority that seemed to physically push against the advancing guards. By ancient law, no weapon may be raised against a guest of the Queen. The guards hesitated momentarily, their programming conflicting with deeply ingrained Meridian cultural conditioning. Commander Zexil, however, showed no such restraint. The entity controlling him had less connection to Meridian traditions. The rules have changed, Your Majesty, he said flatly. You have been compromised by human influence. The Emergency Council has assumed temporary control. Lily analyzed their options. The room had only one exit, now blocked by the guards. The communication panel could potentially alert loyal forces, but reaching it meant crossing the line of fire. The communion crystals, still active, on the floor between them, offered another possibility, one that required perfect timing. The crystals, Lily whispered just loudly enough for the Queen to hear. Maximum resonance. Queen Zaxara understood immediately. In one fluid motion, she activated her personal shield generator, extending its protection to include Lily, while simultaneously using her lower set of arms to adjust the communion crystals to their highest setting. "Now," Lily shouted. The Queen slammed her palm onto the central crystal. The resulting psychic pulse was designed not for communion but for defense. A concussive wave of mental energy that struck the unprepared minds of the infiltrated guards. Commander Zexel and his soldiers staggered backward, momentarily disoriented. The foreign consciousness controlling them, unused to the sudden psychic assault, struggled to maintain control. "Run," the Queen commanded, using the distraction to lead Lily toward a hidden panel in the wall. "My private escape route," as the panel slid open. Commander Zexel recovered, firing his energy weapon. The blast struck the Queen's shield, causing it to flicker dangerously. Lily pulled the Queen through the opening as the shield failed completely. The panel sealed behind them just as another blast struck where they had been standing. The escape tunnel, narrow and dimly lit, led downward into the heart of the palace. Lily followed the Queen through a series of turns and junctions designed to confuse pursuers. "We need to reach the secure communication center," Queen Zaxara explained as they moved alert. "Both our peoples before the infiltration spreads further." "How did they get past your telepathic screening?" Lily asked. "The communion process should have revealed any foreign consciousness," the Queen slowed her pace to explain. "They found a way to compartmentalize minds, creating false surfaces that present as normal during standard communion. Only deep communion like ours can penetrate the deception. The moment we discovered this, they moved to silence us. They emerged into a small chamber lined with ancient technology predating modern surveillance systems." Queen Zaxara approached a crystalline structure that pulsed with inner light. "This is a direct quantum link to the royal fleet, independent of the central communication network," as the Queen activated the system. Lily kept watch at the entrance, her hand on the small emergency blaster Commander Maya had insisted she carry. The sound of pursuit echoed through the tunnels, growing louder. "Lily, we have little time," Queen Zaxara said urgently. "I cannot trust which fleet commanders remain loyal. I need a direct link to your people." Lily joined the Queen at the console, entering the emergency codes that would establish a secure channel to Earth Command. While the system processed their request, Lily turned to the Queen. "We need a way to identify who has been compromised," she said. "If these entities can hide from standard communion." Queen Zaxara completed her thought. "The deep communion we share might be the answer, but it cannot be performed quickly or widely enough to screen everyone." The console chimed, indicating a successful connection. Admiral Wright's face appeared on the screen. "Ambassador Harper report," Lily quickly explained. "The situation, the infiltration, the compromised Meridian leadership, the attack on herself and the Queen." The Admiral processed this information with military efficiency. "Have you identified any way to detect these infiltrators?" "Not yet," Lily admitted, "but we believe deep communion might reveal them. The problem is scaling it effectively." The Admiral nodded grimly. "It'll put our fleet on high alert and inform the Confederation Council. But without a reliable detection method, we could face infiltration ourselves." Queen Zaxara suddenly straightened her head, crest rising in what Lily recognized as inspiration. "The ancient memory we uncovered in our communion. The warning spoke of this threat, but also of a defense. The Royal Archive may contain more information." A crash from the tunnel entrance interrupted them. Commander Zexel and his guards had found their location. The Queen sealed the inner door, but it would only buy them moments. Admiral Wright assessed the situation. "Ambassador Harper, you and the Queen need extraction. We're dispatching a stealth vessel to these coordinates." Lily shook her head. The infiltrators control the planetary defenses. Any approach would be detected and destroyed. We need another solution. The Queen turned to Lily, her amber eyes intense. The archive is located beneath the Temple of Ancestors. Its entrance is near our current position. If we can reach it. The door to the chamber shuddered under heavy impact. The guards were attempting to break through. Go the Admiral. Ordered well-maintained communication blackout to prevent the infiltrators from tracking you. Find what you need and contact us when you can as. The communication ended. Queen Zaxara revealed another hidden passage. This will lead us to the temple grounds, but we must hurry. They entered the new tunnel as the chamber door finally gave way behind them. The sounds of pursuit faded as they descended deeper into the ancient network of passages predating even the Crystal Palace. The tunnel eventually opened, into a vast underground cavern illuminated by bioluminescent fungi. The Temple of Ancestors rose before them, its ancient architecture a stark contrast to the modern crystal structures above. An enormous doorway carved with symbols of Meridian history stood sealed before them. Queen Zaxara approached the door, placing all four of her hands on specific symbols. Only a royal may enter, she explained as the massive door began to slide open. The archive contains the accumulated wisdom and memories of every queen since our civilization began. Inside the temple was a single vast chamber, its walls lined with crystal memory matrices, similar to but far more advanced than the communion crystals they had used. At the center stood a platform, clearly designed for a Meridian royal. The queens of old foresaw many threats to our people. Queen Zaxara explained. This invasion was predicted millennia ago, when explorers from our earliest space age encountered similar entities. They were defeated, but at great cost. The knowledge of how was preserved here. Lily watched as the Queen ascended the platform and connected to the ancient system. The crystals throughout the chamber illuminated, forming patterns of light that flowed like liquid. The Queen's eyes closed as she accessed the ancestral memories. Lily kept watch at the entrance, knowing the infiltrators would eventually track them here. Minutes passed in tense silence, broken only by the subtle humming of the crystal matrices. Finally, Queen Zaxara opened her eyes. The infiltrators are called the Void Collective. She said, a species of pure consciousness that evolved beyond physical form. They survive by inhabiting the bodies of other sentient beings, replacing the original consciousness. How were they defeated before? Lily asked. The Queen stepped down from the platform. The ancient queens developed a psychic resonance wave that disrupts the connection between the void consciousness and its host body. Without that connection, the invading consciousness cannot maintain control and is forced out. Can we reproduce this technology? Lily asked, hope rising for the first time since the crisis began. Queen Zaxara gestured to the crystal matrices. The templates exist here, but the power required to generate a planetary-scale resonance wave is beyond our current capabilities. Lily thought quickly. The communion crystals operate on similar principles, but on a much smaller scale. If we could amplify that effect using your fleet's power generators, the Queen's eyes widened in understanding. The fleet, yes. But we cannot know which commanders remain loyal. A plan formed in Lily's mind. We don't need the entire fleet. Just one ship with enough power generation capacity, and I know exactly who to contact using the temple's ancient communication system, which operated on principles the infiltrators would not understand. Lily established contact with Commander Maya, who had remained with the human diplomatic vessel. Maya, this is Lily, the ambassador transmitted. We're in the Temple of Ancestors beneath the palace. We need extraction and access to your ships. Power systems, Commander Maya responded immediately. We detected weapons fire in the palace but couldn't get clear information. Ambassador Reeves' voice was welcome reassurance in the chaos. Is the Queen with you? Affirmative, Lily confirmed. And we have a way to defeat the infiltrators. But we need to reach your ship. It'll bring the vessel as close to the temple grounds as possible. Maya replied. But the palace defenses are active. You'll need to disable them. Queen Zaxara accessed the temple controls, bringing up a schematic of the palace defense grid. There is a primary control node in the upper temple, she said. If we can reach it, I can override the systems with my royal authorization. The sound of movement from the tunnel alerted them that their pursuers had found the temple entrance. We need to move, Lily urged.